Hello and welcome back. Turkeyfoot Farms. I'm going to give a little update on the kids that were born Sunday, a couple days ago. They were born and it was probably, I think the lows was like -10 and the wind chill was much colder than that, maybe -20, -25. At its coldest. Right now it's probably 35, 36 degrees, and you'd almost think it's t-shirt weather compared to the last couple days. Anyway, I don't plan to have kids in January. It just happened. I stated that on the last video. But things happen and you just got to adapt and overcome. Ran into a little bit of an issue with these while they're surviving. That brown doeling there, you can see her ears are a little puffy. Well, she got frostbite, and her brother there got probably some minor frostbite. His ears aren't as near as puffy and they're actually going down a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. I mean, they are visibly swollen. His are, yeah, I didn't get that. His are swollen a little bit. Man, they are just beating up on things in here. Anyway, that's what it is. They got frostbite. What do you expect when it's -10 degrees out and they got big floppy ears like that? Even when you get the wind chill off of them, you know, if they was probably 3 or 4 days old and they were born when it was 35, 40 degrees, or even 20, 30 degrees, I don't think that would have been an issue. Once they get about a week old, they're pretty hardy. But them being born that cold, no body fat, no way to regulate their temperature, the body just has a way of staying alive, and sometimes that's pulling blood flow to the extremities that at the time seemed like a luxury, like ears. It's either that or they go get hyperthermic and dying, and unfortunately I didn't see it till after the fact, after they were swollen up. They're not there's nothing you can do really at that point. I did warm them up, try to get some blood flow going back into the ears, but the damage was done. Everything I read, frostbite is a preventative thing, not a treatable thing. You can treat symptoms, I think, or manage the discomfort, but you're not going to. Basically, when they get frostbite, the flesh dies, the blood cells rupture. A lot of things happen, but what's going to happen now is it's going to be kind of like their ears been castrated. They're going to slowly die and slough off. They'll probably look like a La Mancha in a couple months. Not much ears to speak of. I hate that, but fortunately, unfortunately, I don't know which, but these kids are kind of destined for the sale barn anyway, because there's a good chance that they're inbred, given that they were bred by a given that mom, the doe here, was bred by one of the bucklings. I don't know if it was her buckling or another buckling, but either way, that buckling would be related to her in some fashion. And I'm just not going to sell the kids as breeding stock or keeping myself. So with or without their ears, they were destined to go to the sale barn, and we all know where they go after they go to the sale barn, 9 times out of 10. So that's what it is. I wish I had better news. I wish I could do something different, but caught it late. What I should have done is I would have kept them in the house any longer than I did, just because I didn't want them to get too warm and get pneumonia. But I should have warmed up the ears and then gauzed them to their head or to their neck, so they weren't dangling and causing or potentially getting frostbite. But you don't do it now. Once they're damaged, you don't tape them to the head or anything like that. It's just got to run its course now. So that's what it is. Gave the rest of the goats some grain and hay. Gave Mama Goat some alfalfa. You're probably wondering where the hay bales went. Well, that's part of one. I picked up the 2 that were left intact, and I threw them back in the hay storage area. It's supposed to be warmer for the next couple days. I don't think I really need the hay up. The kids are kind of getting along without it, so thinking back now, I kind of wish I would have grabbed an IBC tote, put an IBC tote in the corner, or utilized one of my other barns, or I say barns, they're not really barns, goat sheds. Behind them trees, you can't really see it. That's where the billies and the weanlings stay. Is that little, not even a quarter acre, and there's a 8x12 shed in there. It's actually the best shed I got, most wind resistant one I got. This one's got holes all over in it. It's pretty drafty, but it's the biggest one, and it's just the one that the goats call home. So it's where and it's real close to electricity and the house, and it's what I use. But I wish I would have got an IVC tote, put it in either this barn right here or in one of them sheds, wrapped a cattle pen all around it, and put a heat light in it. I know I talked about the concern of them getting too hot and getting pneumonia. Well, I don't think at -10 it was going to get too hot in that IBC tote. It might have stayed at 40 or 50 degrees, but I think they would have been fine. And I don't think they would have got frostbite on their ears. I would have felt a lot better. I feel kind of like a bad goat owner at this point, but from what I read, this is a pretty common issue up north, where their winters are in the extremes, and it happens. I mean, we don't have negative temperatures too often. Some winters will go without it ever getting in the negatives. Single digits. When I was growing up, single digits was pretty much the coldest it got. We had a lot more snow back then, but we didn't have the cold temps we have now. Kind of a weird trade-off. So, yeah, that's the update. Rambling on and on right now. I am going to get the rest of the chores done and maybe give another update on these kids later on in the week. See ya.